Today we're going to go over talking about team compositions and how to build a effective composition for rated battlegrounds. This guide is intended for anybody that's interested in leading rated battlegrounds. You might be new, maybe you're looking for some additional information. And this is just based on things that I've learned in my time leading rated battlegrounds. So let's get into it. When you're building your team composition, one of the things you're going to need is 3 healers. And when you choose your healers, you want to consider both throughput and damage mitigation. Some healers have excellent throughput, like Mistweaver Monk or Restoration Druid. Other specs are built more on preventing damage with shields, such as Disc Priest or Holy Paladin. The other thing you want to consider is you want to consider the mobility of your healers. You want to have at least one mobile healer in your group. So that's going to be something like a Preservation Evoker, a Mistweaver Monk, or Restoration Druid. That way they can peel out of the fight and go support other areas of the map if needed. You want to pick up a DPS that can dual spec into a tank spec for flag carry maps. This is going to be your designated flag carrier. One thing I'd always recommend with your team composition is you have a dedicated stealth team. I like to run at least one rogue. Any 3 specs are fine. Depends on what the current meta is, but definitely want to have one rogue on your team. And then the second stealth team member can be either a rogue or a feral or balanced druid. It definitely should be a DPS though, so that when you 2-hit a base, you have the opportunity to kill to cap, or you can try to CC cap. Next thing you're going to look at when you're building your comp is who are going to be your designated base sitters. I'd recommend getting at least 2. That way on certain maps, you're always going to get 2 bases, Eye of the Storm, Deepwind Gorge, and you can have people that are going to be doing that job. They know they're going to be doing that job on those maps. When there's no bases, then they're going to be coming to team fights. So grab your 2 base hitters. Rounding out the rest of your team composition, you'll want to pick up some frontline melee. I like to have at least 2. Preferably, these are going to be your target callers. These are going to be people that set where kind of the fight happens in team fights. So there's a number of different specs that fill this role. But yeah, definitely want to pick up at least 2 big beefy melee to set that front line. And once you've fulfilled all those requirements, the rest of the positions in your team are basically personal preference DPS. So if you're a single target burst comp, we've got a lot of single target damage. You want to pick up some DPS that can do that. If you're a call a rot comp with a lot of dots, then you want to pick up some dots. But as personal preference at this point, you've got your healers, you've got your stealth team, you've got your tank, you've got your base sitters, got your frontline melee, so you're kind of filling out the roster with whatever the biggest damage is, or if you've got a friend that wants to play, that's your opportunity to get that person in. So let's take a look at what an example comp would look like. First thing I'm going to grab is 3 healers. I'm going to grab a Disc Priest for some damage mitigation. I'm going to grab a Mistweaver Monk as a mobile healer, and then my third option, I've got some options here. I can go throughput, I can go mobility, I can go another damage mitigation. So we're going to grab a Preservation Evoker because they've got mobility and throughput, and they're great on flag maps with some of their utility. Next, we're going to look at our DPS tank. Really, any of the ones will do. So we're going to grab a Demon Hunter here that can also provide big damage in a team fight when they go DPS spec, or can, excellent flag carrier with mobility and kiting abilities in a flag map. Next, we're going to grab our stealth team. So we're going to grab our rogue. Let's go sub rogue on this one, and then we're going to grab a druid. So I'm going to grab a balanced druid as my stealth team. My base hitters are also going to be my rogue and my balanced druid. Both those specs are great for base sitting, so they're going to kind of fill dual roles there. Last, we're going to grab our frontline melee, so we're going to grab the Rit Paladin. Obviously, that's me, so yay. And then we're going to grab a Frost DK just because they're greatest disruption and useful in a team fight with grips. Last 2 slots are basically any DPS you want. So looking at this comp, hey, we've got a lot of single target damage with the Frost DK and the Ret. We've got big AoE on the Demon Hunter, but not a lot of rot other than the Boomy, who's going to be part of our stealth team base sitting anyway, so probably all the team fights. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up like a Destro Warlock, for example. I would like to pick up an extra base sitter, so I'll pick up a marksmanship hunter here. Big single target damage, can sit a base. Little bit of flexibility there, but yeah, really those last two slots is whatever you want to bring. You got a friend that wants to come and do damage. You've got someone that's a gladiator that apply that you know is going to be a huge help. Yeah, grab another DK, grab another red paladin, grab another demon hunter. Really, you can go with any option here. Just get somebody in the group and queue it up. I'd like to do one more example just to show how different a comp can be from the first version that I provided. So just follow the same kind of team composition, the same recipe. 3 healers. So the first healer, this guy, mitigation, we'll go with the Holy Paladin. A little more single target. So now we need some throughput, maybe a little bit of AoE. We'll grab a Resto Shaman. That's a good team fight spec. Both these healers are kind of stationary, not too mobile. So we'll grab a Resto Druid as our third one, good throughput, and that'll be our mobile healer. Now we need our DPS tank, so we're gonna grab a Boomy that can swap to Bear for flag carry maps. That's a solid tank there. Stealth team, let's go with a Rogue, and we'll grab a second Boomy. Why not? Boomies are great for RBGs, so a lot of dots showing up already. 2 Boomies. So we're gonna go for a bit of a rot comp. So for our DPS, we'll grab a warrior for the Mortal Strike effect. If we can get more a warrior that can TC, that's great. The second DPS, we'll grab an Unholy DK for the dots that they offer. Also great with grips and AMZ in a team fight. 2 more DPS spots. Let's go for some dots. So we're gonna go for the Affliction Warlock. Um, Dispel Protection with Unstable Affliction will be great with the 2 Boomies. And then third one, let's throw a Shadow Priest in here. Why not? We don't have a priest in our healer group, so that way we got a little bit of mind control and stuff like that. So, anyways, as you can see, same kind of formula, same recipe, completely different result. So that's it for this guide. Hopefully that helps you kind of put together some good team comps. Go out there and queue up some games. Thanks for watching.